Inside your bedroom, we stopped counting the days, lost in the rhythm.
Hi, hello, it is another car video. Man, we do these super often now on this channel. I promise that's not going to become a trend. My name is Amy Prokopis. I am a fantasy romance author of, I think, oh my gosh, it's like 7 books now. Oh my goodness. I am publishing so many this fall that I'm starting to lose track. Oh Lord. This video is all about my Christmassy book, the sequel to Winter Witches, which is Frozen as Friends. So Winter Witches follows the Sinclair family. Book 1, Winter Witches, follows the eldest Sinclair sister. There are 3 of them. The eldest sister is Madison Sinclair, and it follows her and her romance. And book 2 follows the middle sister, Margot Sinclair. So today, we are going to talk a little bit about this book and why you should read it and how excited I am to finally be publishing this book, because, little insider fact, I actually considered not continuing the series and not publishing this book at all. First, let's start a little bit with this book. So, Frozen as Friends. Margot Sinclair, when we leave Winter Witches, she has had an accident that has kind of derailed the trajectory for her life. So Margot is at UCLA on a Division I soccer scholarship, and she's very much made a name for herself there, like immediately. She is a soccer star. Her goal in life is to go professional. That is what she wants to do, and she is completely on track until she has an accident, and her injury kind of leaves her free floating. She can't do soccer. Suddenly she's thinking about, like, what does the rest of my life look like if I can't do soccer? How do I make it so that I can do soccer? And then essentially, who is Margot Sinclair outside of Margot Sinclair, the soccer player? So she moves home, and the plan is for her to spend a semester back at home doing classes online with UCLA, but living with her family while she sees a specialist to try and heal her injuries and solve, like, the real root issue medically that's there, and also see a therapist to help her work through that process. So she's moving home. She's not super happy about it. It's Christmas time because it's the end of the semester, so she's moving home the same time as everybody is already coming home for Christmas. And so she's getting all of the usual updates. Who's engaged and whatnot, and where everybody else is really thriving and, like, coming into their own as adults, Margot still feels really stuck. Her dreams are not coming true, and she doesn't even know if they're possible now. And she's starting to get really anxious about it. And there's an event in this book, I don't want to give away too much, that happens that really, like, brings that all to a head, and she just needs to get away. So she goes another town over from her family's little vacation spot because there is a gym there, and she starts to practice soccer. Even though she's not doing a great job of it, she's failing in the drills that she's trying to run there, and she ends up having a panic attack and then, like, falling asleep in this gym. And when she wakes up, a friend from high school, Dax Kroon, is the one there that finds her. And Dax is an Olympic hopeful. So Dax Kroon has always been a really great swimmer, went to the University of California on a swim scholarship, and is training for the Olympic trials, where he is like somebody that's known as being like a top contender in the swimming circuit. So he finds her when he's there in the morning to train for his Olympic stuff. So he runs into her, and together he proposes that we can kind of work together. You come on and do light strength building. So rather than soccer, which she has been told by her doctors that she can't do high impact sports right now while they try to heal her injuries, she needs to stay off of them, but she is allowed to do low impact sports. And so Dax's idea is, Margot can come, I will train you in the pool, we will do swimming exercises to keep your strength up, and you will time my swims so that I know where I stand for the Olympic trials. So they're friends, they're rekindling their friendship from high school, and they agree to this mutually beneficial relationship at this point. And of course, things change, life circumstances change, and Margot starts to feel deeper feelings for Dax. So things transpire from there. Frozen as Friends is a friends to lovers romance set at Christmassy time. There's a winter witchy twist because in this book, both of the main characters are winter witches. If you've read Winter Witches, which is book 1, then you already are somewhat familiar with Dax Kroon and his family. And so we get more into that in book 2. And so that is Frozen as Friends. And I cannot wait to get this book out because, like I said earlier, this book almost didn't get published. I started writing Frozen as Friends in January 2024. So it was right after the Christmassy time, January 2024. I was writing this book about this lead character, Margot, who's having some really severe anxiety, maybe even a little bit of depression, not knowing where she stands, not knowing what to do, where to go, feeling really stuck. And at that same time, I started to have a lot of change in my life. I was getting ready to make a big career shift. And of course, there was everything in my author life. I was having a lot of anxiety, and I actually ended up taking a step back from just about everything in my life at the same point that I was writing this book. And so I decided I need to put this book aside. So I stopped writing Frozen as Friends. I took like a week and a half off from my day job, and I basically just kind of sat at home and did soul searching, really did some like pretty in-depth goal planning for myself and goal setting, because I just needed to wrap my head around things and mentally get in a better space. And so I stopped writing Frozen as Friends, and I did not come back to this book until August of 2024. So I've recently come back to this book. So when I wrote it, knowing that I was going to release it December 2nd, there wasn't a whole lot left to write in this book, and it had already all been plotted out, yada yada. I knew exactly where it was going, and so I just had to sit down and write it. But in the spring, after all of that happened, I sort of got things together. I had a really, really big, like, sudden push in my following on social media, and author stuff sort of exploded a little bit right after I had this, like, severe anxiety panic episode. So I was very fortunate that I came out of it with a gigantic push and a sense of confidence because of it. But I was seriously considering not publishing any more books in this Season of Witches series. So at that point, it was just Winter Witches out. I thought about just leaving it at Winter Witches and moving on with my normal, sort of heavier, deeper subject fantasy romance books. But I really like Winter Witches. And if it wasn't for some people in my life, like some really dear friends to me who said that Winter Witches was one of their favorite books that I've ever published, then I may have not, it was still something, publishing the rest of the series was something I was still considering. And I maybe would have just moved on from it if I didn't have people that really enjoyed these books and if I didn't see more potential for it. So I did decide I want to at least do the winter books. But as I started thinking about this entire realm and the witches and their powers and everything, there's just so much potential there. And I found myself, as I started reading more books even, I got a Kindle over the summer, started reading a lot. I found myself really, really enjoying reading the fluffy romances. And I found myself really liking to write them in between my heavier, deeper fantasy books. It kept me fresh. It kept my brain clear. It was a palate cleanser, essentially. And I adored the books that I wrote. And I immediately could see like several more of them. So all that to say, I decided that rather than move on from Winter Witches, I wanted to take my newfound skill that I learned in the spring of Photoshop, and I wanted to rebrand the entire series. So originally, Winter Witches had an animated cover that I had a cover artist do, or a character artist do, and the series was Winter Witches. I knew immediately after publishing that book that I had other things in mind. And so originally my thought was to do like a winter series, there'd be a summer series, there'd be a spring series. I decided in the spring to completely rebrand it. And because I had this new skill to do covers myself, I wanted to put a new cover on Winter Witches so that it would match everything else I did after. And then I decided to move forward. And I had already been calling all these witchy series my like seasonal witches thing that I'd already been referring it to myself really as my like seasonal witches, my seasons of witches. And so I just decided to make that the branding, and I created a series logo to tie them all together since they are going to be set in different seasons. So I created a series logo with all the seasons on it that is stamped on the back cover of every one of those books. And that was that. I rebranded to Season of Witches, and there will be at least, I'm planning, 3 books per season. And I already have the next season in my brain. I will, of course, keep you guys updated. So Patreon members always get information first. So this month, November, every day of November, I am posting a chapter from Frozen as Friends, completely free. It is the unedited version. So it is the early draft of Frozen as Friends, and Patreon members will get the entire book, 1 chapter a day until all 24 chapters are out. So $5 a month, you get all of that, plus everything from the past that is on Patreon and things to come. So Patreon members will get early announcements. So if you want to know what season we are moving to next after winter, you're going to want to join Patreon because I will be announcing it there first. So Frozen as Friends, that book will come out December 2nd. Book 3 in the final winter book is planned for next Christmas. I already have the cover done, already have the title picked, already have most of it outlined, and I will start writing that this spring. So you guys aren't going to want to miss out. That's a little bit about Frozen as Friends and how this new series has kind of come about. Hopefully the traffic around me hasn't been too distracting. I just kind of powered through because I'm like running around between things. Life is really weird right now, and I'm just sitting in my car recording a video for you guys. So make sure to like and subscribe. Leave me a like below. I have a lot of really cool, totally new things coming in 2025. I'm doing a lot of prep and planning for that in the author world. And hopefully into 2025, early 2025, I will officially be an LPC candidate, which means I will be working as a therapist in the mental health field. And so that will be different as well. So lots of change coming. really cool new projects, and I hope you guys will be around for it. So as always, links are in the description. Follow me online on social media. I'm super, super active. And read books, be kind. I'll see you guys in the next one. Bye!
You, oh my